Hey guys, welcome back again in the series of Python for beginners, and as you can see on my screen, today's agenda is list. So we are going to discuss about lists today, and I have divided this video into two parts, and half of them I'm going to explain today with the demo, and half of the agenda I'm going to explain in the next video because while explaining this video, the video can go too long, it can go up to 20 plus minutes, and that would be cumbersome for you to see in one sitting. So I'll be taking half of it in this video and I'll be taking half of the agenda in the next video. Before moving forward, I would like to request that you know the drill, that please subscribe this channel if you have not subscribed it yet. If you are new over here, like and share. So let's dive right into the video. So the first thing that we are going to discuss today is what exactly is list. So what do we know of list? How do we declare it? We'll talk about that. How to access the elements in list. So how do we access elements in a list? How to add and delete elements in a list? What exactly is slicing? What is slices? What is the range? And then how to do exception handling, ranges and looping with for and while loop. In the first video, in the first part, we are going to talk about the list. The second one, accessing element, deleting elements, adding elements, and the slicing part. In the next video, we are going to talk about the exception handling, ranges, and looping. So let's move forward. So what exactly is a list? So lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable, and this single variable has a particular name, almost like a dynamically sized array. So if you have heard about any programming language and in that you have used arrays, you know that arrays are static in nature, and that's why we have different type of data structures in which are not which are dynamic in nature. So they are kind of like arrays, but they are dynamic in nature. So list almost like dynamically sized arrays. If you have not heard about arrays, it's totally fine. If this is the first language that you are learning, it's totally fine. We can just ignore this and move forward. Not homogeneous, they are heterogeneous in nature. What is meaning? What does homogeneous means? Homogeneous means that everything is of same kind and they are not homogeneous in nature. So you can have integers, strings as well as objects in this. So that's how you can use the list. They are mutable in nature. What does it mean? So it means that they can be altered after creation. Ordered. What do you mean by ordered? It means that index according to the definite sequence. So it starts from 0 as the first index and goes till the number of elements we have in the list. And it always have a definite count. You can use len method to get the count, but we're going to talk about that in future. You can also have a list within a list. So you can declare a list, and inside that list as an element, you can declare about another list. So let's talk about the syntax over here. So what is the syntax? You can give any name, which is you can see over here. This can be any name. And this is also another name, list name. You can give the index. You can give it empty over here. You can give the index, or list. You can give the number of items and so on. Any number of items over there. So that's how you declare a list, and that's how you understand about list. Let's move forward and then we'll talk about how to add the elements. So there are multiple ways to do that. First method is append. For adding one element at a time, for adding multiple entries, you can use loops. So if you want to add one element at a time, you can use the append method. But if you want to add multiple entries, you can use loops. So you can use a for loop and the other loop. But right now we are not going to talk about the multiple entries. When I'm going to teach you how to use loops, what is for loop, what is while loop, we are going to talk about that in the future, and then we'll talk about adding multiple entries. Right now you can just focus on the first part. Second would be insert. So append method only works at the for the addition of elements at the end of the list. For the addition of elements at the desired position, we use insert method. Unlike append method, which is it takes only one argument. Okay, so the insert method requires two arguments, position and the value. So that's how we use insert method. The third method is the extend method. Append and extend methods are kind of same, because in one term, like, because they add the element at the end of the list. So what is an extend method? So this method is used to add multiple elements at the same time at the end of the list. So append and extend methods can only add elements at the end, and that's the thing that you need to learn. Let's talk about how to delete the elements. So we use remove and pop. So let's talk about the remove method first. So in remove method, elements can be removed from the list by using the remove function. An error will arise if the element does not exist in the list. It means that if you have elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you want to remove 5 and 6, you can easily use remove method to remove them. But if 5 and 6 are not present in your list, it will arise an error. Remove method only removes one element at a time. That's the problem. Sorry, that's the feature of it. To remove a range of elements, you again need to use a loop as an iterator. And we are going to talk about that in future. So if you have two occurrences, let's say if you have 11 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, and you use remove element, it will remove only 5 at the first occurrence and not the second one. So that's one of the features. And for different removing technique, you have pop method. So this function can also be used to remove and return an element from the list. So you remove an element and you can return the elements so that you can pick it in some kind of list and then you can print that. By default, it removes only the last element of the list. So if you have used pop and you have not given any sort of index or any sort of element, it will remove only the last element. In order to remove the element from any specific location of the list, the index of the element is passed as an argument to the pop method. So that's how we talk about it. So I hope you guys have understood how to add an element, how to remove an element. We're going to have a demo of it. But before moving to the demo, we'll talk about the slicing or slices. So what exactly is slicing or slices? To access a portion of a list called a slice, specify two indices separated by a colon within brackets. The slice starts at the first index and goes up to, but does not include the last index. If the first index is not there and it is omitted, we assume that there is not we, Python assumes that it is 0 and it will start from the very basic or the very first index. If the second index is omitted, the number of items in the list is assumed. That means whatever is the last position. So there are three ways to do it. First, you can give an index 1 and index 2. So first index till any number of index like sixth index. If the first one is omitted and it's not there, it assumes 0. If the last one is not given, it assumes the last element. If there are 10 elements, then it will assume 10. Let's understand through a diagram. And on the basis of this diagram, I'm going to have a demo so that you guys can relate with the diagram. So let's move forward. Okay, so you can see the elements start from 0 and elements go till 13. So there are total number of 14 elements. So logic underscore ops underscore lab. So one element at a time, logic underscore ops underscore lab. So this is my list. So you can see default beginning of the sequence starts from 0 and it goes till 13. This is the default end of the sequence. Do not concentrate on the minus 12, minus 13 right now. I'm going to explain it later. If you are going to slice it with the indexes going 3 and 8, it will go till 8th but won't pick this element. It will pick only P. So third element, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. Third element is I. 4 C. 5 underscore 607P, not 0 O, 7P. Eighth element, it will go till here but not pick the S. It will pick only 3 to 8. So this is how it works. So now slicing from here it till beginning. Now what happens is, in case you want to access any element from the reverse order, you can try a putting minus. So if it starts from 0 over here till the end is 13, on the reverse part, it always starts from minus 1. It does not start from 0. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 till the end of the element. Okay, so that's how it works. Even when you access in any sort of we'll give an example. In any sort of list, you can give the index 1, so it will print the 0. But if you give minus 1, then it will print B over here. So that's how it works. We'll talk about that. So these are the things that we're going to talk about that in our demo today. And let's move to the Visual Studio. So I've already created list folder over here, and in that I have 7 programs written over here for Python. It is already updated in my repository. You guys can clone or download it, and then you can, or even you can, which is recommended, you can write your own programs and understand. Okay, so let's go to the creation. I'm already in list, so I just have to run the first one. Very basic thing. How do we access the element and create a list? So let's go to the top. This is how we create. So let me run this and then one by one I'll explain what is happening. So I have given a blank my list over here. You can give any name. I have given my list. You can give list, anything. This is totally your choice. This is a blank list which will print, and my list is going to print the first one. Now, as I told that it is not it is not homogeneous. You can give any sort of element. First two are numbers, or you can say integers. Then it's a string over here, number, string over here, and then it's a mixed value. So it has printed that. Now list of numbers, four elements are there. List of numbers, my list one, and then it has printed the list of numbers. Here what we are doing, we are trying to access. So 0th index, first index, and second index. -1 index, -2 index, -3 index. So 0 is logic, 2 is lab. So it will print logic and lab. -1 is lab. Ops is -2. So that's how it will print. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goes from right to left and minus left to right. Sorry, right to left. Okay, so that's how it works. Now we'll create the multi-dimensional array. Please pay attention to this. Okay, we nest list inside a list. This is a bar bracket that is starting from here for the first list, and inside that we have given this list and this list. So there are two lists inside one of them. Now this is the first element at 0th index, second element at the first index. This is 0th index, first element. Now how do you access it? First let me print this. So this has just printed this one, which is perfectly fine. But how do you access it? You want to access first index 0th element. Which is first index? This is first index. This is second index. Okay. Now this starts from the MD list starts from this, so this angular bracket, and inside that there are a number of elements. So what is the first element? This is the 0th element. This is the first element. Sorry, this is first element at 0th index. This is at first index. So first index, 0th element, which is lab. So it will print lab. Now in case of MD list over here, it will take the 0. Which one is the 0th? This. So at 0th index, there is a whole list, and the first element that has to go. So which is the first one? Starts from 0, 1. The ops, it will print ops. I'll repeat it again if you guys are confused. First index and then 0th element, or you can say 0th index. What is this? This is 0. This is 1. So it went to lab. And what is the 0th element over there? Lab. Had it been, let me give you an example. I add none over here. Okay. And I give 1 over here. So what it will print? It will print none. Let's see. You can see it has print none. Why? First index, first element. First index and the first index. So these both are index. Okay. So first index of the first index. Okay. So what is at the first one? So this is the 0th index. Let's go to first index, which is this one. Okay. Inside that, you have to go again to the first index. So this is 0th, this is 1. So that's why it has printed none over here. I hope you guys have understood it. So let me just take the code back. What was here? This was 0 over here, right? Let me just save it. Okay, perfect. So I hope you have understood this. If not, please feel free to comment and we'll address that and we can explain this again. Or you can just write your own and try to index. Okay, let's move to the add. So add, we're going to discuss append, insert, and extend. So let's talk about the append one. So appending is just appending a value. This is the blank list which we are going to print. Then my list append first, second, and fourth. So this first, second, and fourth are values, not the indexes. So let's type 0, 2 over here and hit enter. And you can see it has added these. Now inside that we have now three elements, which you can see 1, 2 and 4. Now we have printed it, this has printed over this. Now adding a list to the list. So we already have a list declared, list 2, and then we already have a list over here, which is my list right now, which is this. So we'll add for and geeks, which is already a list, to the different list. So if I do that, you can see that it has printed. Okay, so I hope you have understood it. In the previous example, this is one list, this is one list, and this is one list as a whole. Here, this is one list, this is just an element, and this is one list as an element. I hope you guys have made the difference. Let's move to the insert part. Insert does not add a value at the end. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can add 3 to 12. Let's see what happens. Let me clear this, and then what we'll do is 0. Let me go to 0. This is the program number 3, and let's hit tab and enter. And you can see that the initial list was still 6. So initial list is till 6, but you are giving a position and a value to add. So third index, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So what it will do, it will push 4 to the right and add 12 over here, and you can see that. Now at the first index, so 0, 1, so it will push 2 to the right and add lab over there, and you can see this has printed. So that's how insert works. You have to give a position and a value. Let's go to add extend. What happens? Let me clear this. Let me see it. You can see I have declared a list which has 6 elements. Initial list, it will print this, only this. Addition of multiple elements using extend method. In extend, I am adding a lot of values right now, and it will add at the end. So let's see how it works. So it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it will add 4 more elements over here. And when I say 4 more elements, it does not print a list in a, sorry, it does not end a list in a list. It will just add in existing list. And we talked about mutable, right? Yeah, so it's mutable. It does not have to create from the start, from the scratch. It just added to the existing one. Okay, let's go to delete part. Let me clear this to understand. Now I have a list of 10. So we'll talk about first the remove method. So in remove method, we just give 5 and 6. This 5 and 6 are not the index, these are the values. So it will remove 5 over here. Let me give 5 over here, so that you can understand that it removes the first occurrence only. So let me print this. This is the program number 05. Hit tab over here, enter, and you can see these are 10 values over here. Sorry, 11 values over here. It has removed the first one. Okay, 5 and 6. And there is no 6 because it was only once over here. So that's why it has removed this one and no two values. Okay, so that's how it works. So this is a very basic example of how it works. Let me just go back, Control Z, Control Z. Let me just save this. Okay, this is perfect. Let's go to pop. So by default, what pop does is it will remove this one, and then this one, and then this one, and one by one at the end. But if you want to pop something, you have to give it over here. So let me just clean this and run this 06, hit enter, and you can see that list was printed over here, which was the complete one which we declared at the start. And then in the list.pop, we have list after popping an element. You can see that 10 has been popped, means deleted. And then list.pop at 4. So what happens is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at fourth index, what was the number? 5th. So it has removed the 5th over here. So that's how it works, guys. So I hope this is clear to you. Let me try something more, and then what we'll do is we'll do 8 over here. Let's see how it works. So what happened? So at 8th, so 0, 1, 2, not this one, it has popped 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At the 8th position, what was there? 9. So it has popped 9, and you cannot see a 9 over here. So that's how it works, guys. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Let's move to the slicing part or the slice part. So if you had paid attention, you can just go back in the video and take a look at the video, and you can just put it aside and open your Visual Studio and compare what we have explained. So LOGIC is 5 underscore underscore 2 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. There are 13 elements over here, not 13, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. Yeah, 13 elements over here. Okay, now we are going to work on that. Let me just drag it so that you can see it completely. Okay, if you do this, you can do it like that also. I mean, that's totally your choice. So this is program number 07. Hit tab, enter, and let's see how this is working. Initial my list, it has printed all the values starting from 0 till the end. Now we are slicing from 3 to 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will pick from I till 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Till 8, not 8. So till 8 is P, but it won't pick S because that's different. So it will pick IC underscore OP. IC underscore OP. Now let's talk about the 5, and I haven't given any kind of value at the end. So what happens when you do not give any kind of value? It will take till the end value, which is B. So it will take pick from 5th. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from underscore till B, and that's what it has done. So I hope you have understood this. Again, if you do not give any value at the start or at the end, it will pick from 0th index till the end. So it will print the whole, which is this list after slicing. So I hope you guys have understood it, what exactly we have talked about today. And if there is any issue, you guys can comment below and we'll address that. So we have talked about 3-4 things today, and this it was pretty much interesting. Creation, add by append, insert and extend, deleting by removing and pop, and then slicing. And the other topics, which is your for loop, looping system, and how to add values through iteration, we'll talk about in the next video, which would be the second part of this video. So if there is anything, feel free to comment below and we will address that. So thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.